This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's so beautiful to get on the show when the Knicks get a win. They defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-107. Basically had a 20-point lead throughout the entire game, and the Timberwolves, they made it a little bit scary. Everybody had flashbacks of that Atlanta Hawks game. Nobody wanted the Knicks to allow this team to come back and get a victory the way the Hawks did, but the Knicks were able to stay strong, hold it off, and pull it out. Tony, what you think about the win tonight?
Oh, satisfied. You know what I mean? Like a complete game. They made it a little scary, but overall, gotta say best win of the season. You know what I mean? Complete team effort. I think everybody contributed for the most part. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing if they could build off of this. Second game in a row, the big three, our big three,
put up numbers.
60 plus points. So
put up numbers. Julius Randle had 31 points. Just killing it from the 3-point line tonight.
Prolific.
He was prolific. And like we said in the group chat, we was talking a lot of trash in the game preview about Julius Randle, shooting threes. Or maybe it was behind the scenes of the game preview. Maybe we didn't do it on the game preview. I don't remember.
Throughout the day, though. It was throughout the day. It was on. Yeah. It was a little bit in all the shows today.
Because I know I told you and Steph, I was at the point where when they kicked it out to him for 3, I'm like, come on, what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? And Steph was like, when he made the first 3, when he made,
you don't shoot no threes a game,
right,
for the rest of the season.
Came out tonight hot, 8 for 13 from the 3-point line. Julius Randle did, missed his first 3, knocked down the second 3, and went off from there. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, he only took 15 shots, and 13 of them were 3-point attempts. You know what I mean? It was one of those nights for Julius Randle. And you heard what he said. What did you think about what he said after the game when, he was talking to Tom Thibodeau? Well, the team was talking together. When Tom Thibodeau gave them the green light to shoot, and Derrick Rose was like, yo, shoot the ball, shoot the 3. If they made more 3-pointers than we attempted, or made the same amount of 3-pointers that we attempted. They made 27, we attempted 27. You're not going to win. You know what I mean? What did you think about that statement? The Knicks tonight attempted, what did they attempt?
I mean, this is what I'm going to say.
48.
To all the people,
the Knicks took 48 threes tonight.
Yeah, 48. To all the people who say, because this was the topic earlier today, Tibbs is losing the team and they're not responding. They obviously are responding. And we have great leadership to convey the message if it's not getting through directly from Tibbs, like Rose did in this particular matter. You know what I mean? Like he's enforcing or helping bridge the gap if there is a gap. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nikki B from Harlem said, Julius heard y'all sounding ungrateful and went off. He probably did. He probably heard it like, okay, watch this. He's probably got a burner account somewhere right in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, definitely a good win, man. 48 threes. I mean, the numbers rival what the Boston Celtics did last night as far as attempts,
50, yeah.
right? The Celtics attempted 51 and they made 27. And for the game, the Celtics had only taken 88 shots for the game. The Knicks tonight attempted 48 threes. Obviously, they were knocking them down because they made 39.6% of them. They only attempted 89 shots.
Mm.
So they attempted more threes than they attempted twos tonight.
Let me ask you this, Sin. Do you think this becomes a formula? And if so, does that concern you? Considering, I didn't agree with you guys saying, Julius shouldn't be taking threes, but I also didn't think he should be taking 13 of them, or expecting eight of 13.
So,
you know what I mean? So obviously that's not going to continue
right
at that rate.
Right. And me, I'm like this. If you're Julius, take your first three, you miss it, take one more. You miss it, chill out for a little while. Go to the basket. You know what I'm saying?
I don't mean a formula for him. I mean for the team.
Right. Tonight was a good night. RJ Barrett shot 43%, Randle 61%, Reddish 40%, Brunson 40%. Obi Toppin shot 37.5%. Emmanuel Quickly shot 50% from the three-point line. That's everybody who took a three. Right? I mean, they're not going to shoot like that
Agreed.
every single night from the three-point line. So what I'm afraid of, if they try to make this a formula, is that they just can't shoot at that clip. I mean, they shot 39%. Can they shoot 39% as a team from the three-point line? Can they shoot 53s a game and be successful at doing it? I'm just not sure they have that kind of firepower on the team. That's where I get afraid.
Well, here's the thing. I feel you. I'm like, because I'm skeptical about it. But the thing is, if they're good shots, you got to take them.
Yeah, if they're good shots, you got to take them.
You know what I mean? If they're open shots, you got to take them. And I think for the most part, we take good shots for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone, at least this season, has been out there just chucking it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe IQ early, like the first, 2 games or something. But other than that, we and even his shots, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, he don't chuck them like last year. You know what I mean? Like, so I think we're taking good shots, and I think that's what Tibbs is saying. Again, to his credit, this is him adjusting again. What people say that he doesn't do. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the way the NBA is going.
Right. I just want them to be able to, if they're gonna shoot them, just make them at a good clip, high clip. If they're shooting 38, 39% and they're taking 48 shots per game, 50 shots per game, I can live with that. Because that's a pretty high percentage if they're shooting 38, 39%. That's a pretty high percentage. We'll see where it goes from there. Obviously, the way that they got burnt by the Celtics previous game, got to them and they said, hey, you know what? We got to go ahead and take them. But I do also believe you got to take what's given to you as well. If you're forcing threes, then it's going to turn out bad for you. You know what I mean? And it's going to turn out bad for you. But if you're taking what's there, you're making them, shoot them. Shoot them. Good night for the Knicks. Again, Julius Randle had 31 points, 8 rebounds. RJ Barrett, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Jalen Brunson, 23 points, 8 assists. Obi Toppin had 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. Right? It's a good night for the Knicks. A lot of contributions all the way across the board from this team. And we've seen the small ball lineup again. right? Tom Thibodeau. I had said in my video that I didn't think Tom Thibodeau was committed to it, but he did it again. He put it out there again, and he put it out there to close the game. Now, I'm sure he was a little bit more comfortable because they had a bigger lead, right? So we felt like, hey, we've seen it in some tight situations. Let me allow this lineup to get some more experience together. You know what I mean? And it's also allowing Obi to get more minutes. Obi had 25, almost 26 minutes tonight. Right? So how you feeling about the small ball lineup? When Obi is hitting the three, that gives the Knicks a little bit more firepower with that lineup when Obi is hitting the three ball.
And when he's getting crashing the boards, because I think in that lineup we're gonna need him to do that. You know what I mean? In particular, like I know he does like to leak out, and he'll have his opportunities to do that when it's off of a defensive play. Like if the guy you're defending is out in the perimeter, that those could be your opportunities to leak out. But for the most part, in that small ball lineup, he's gonna have to rebound, and he did that tonight too. At least in those possessions, with him and Randle on the floor, I seen him get a couple boards. So I like it. I don't think, again, I said this earlier, I don't think it's gonna be a staple, at least not as of yet. But I think it will be utilized in matchups like tonight, where Anthony Towns was Randall's matchup in a normal circumstance.
Right.
He was at the 5. You can put him at the 5, and that's an opportunity. And so depending on the lineups, Celtics were down to both their bigs. So they were even small, and their bigs aren't even big like that.
Big
so
like that,
you,
right.
you know what I mean? So certain lineups, Joel Embiid playing, I don't think you do that. You know what I mean? Gobert playing tonight, I don't think you do that. So,
right.
I think it's going to be based off of,
or maybe you do, because Gobert is, not a crazy threat scoring the basketball. So maybe you have Obi out there, Randle out there, so you can spread the floor out a little bit.
Move him out the paint. But here's the thing: like if he was available tonight, I don't think we would have saw it. But here's the thing: if they keep playing well in these opportunities,
he's gonna get more comfortable with it.
Then Tibbs, he knows, all right, well, I can use this lineup to my advantage, not because of a necessity.
Right.
And it becomes part of his his modifying his thinking.
Right.
So
yeah, listen, Obi filled up the stat sheet. I read it off. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals. You can also add in there 3 assists for Obi tonight. So he definitely filled up the stat sheet.
And efficient.
Cam Reddish, he's listen, I'm telling you, man. Cam Reddish is, even though he's not scoring a ton of points, he's, I think, really, really staking a claim to this starting position. The longer that Grimes is out, the tougher it's going to be for him to move into that position when he comes back, because that unit is going to become comfortable together, right? And they're going to figure out how to be successful. And people might say, well, he plays defense better than Cam. That's an argument, but you don't know, because he hasn't been out there on the floor enough to know whether or not he does. And Cam is, he's fitting in. He didn't fill up the stat sheet, with rebounds and assists and steals, but he's doing his job defensively. And with Cam out there, he can defend a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. I'm not sure if Grimes can go as big as a 4 defending. So, he may be staking his claim to that position. He's playing he's starting the game, and he's playing down the stretch of games. And Tom Thibodeau's becoming comfortable with what he does on the floor.
And I think he can two things. I think he can fill that role that Fournier was giving us in that starting unit offensively, and then obviously a plus defender in that spot. I also think this could be like a blessing in disguise for Fournier. I mentioned this a while back as well. If we ever decided to put him off the bench, because now he's not restricted in what he's able to do. He gets to play make a little bit more. He
Mm-hmm.
gets to drive a little bit more. He gets to facilitate a little bit. Like he can do more of what he's capable of in that second unit, and it's not restricting him to being strictly a catch and shoot or 3-point threat. And Fournier had some nice moments tonight as well. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't anything stand outish, but I think at a certain point, if he accepts this role, you know what I mean, he could turn it into a positive. It's still early. Aim for six man. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's necessarily possible, but you know what I mean. Put a goal into it. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing he's a good teammate by accepting it. As far as we all know, without any gripes, without any complaining, and still performing.
Yeah. Now, Pudge Nice said that Grimes is going to take Fournier's spot. You think that's possible?
I think for him to do it, first of all, I honestly think there's room for both of them. Granted, I think we needed Rose tonight. I think Rose
Mm-hmm.
played a little bit more tonight than normal. Maybe it felt like it,
Played.
and he
Huh?
didn't shoot well tonight, and still impacted the game in
Right.
in his minutes
Right. Rose
for
played. He only played
the most
13
part.
minutes tonight. I mean,
Oh,
that's
only
around what
13.
he's been playing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But I still think there's room for both of them. I know you don't see Tibbs using 11. Um,
Yeah, I think it's
I,
tough. I know he did it when Grimes came back. He used 11, right? Cam Grimes and Cam both played. Now,
mhm.
part of it is because Grimes was in foul trouble. You know what I mean? So those exceptions are always going to happen. If someone's in foul trouble or whatever, you might use, the 11th guy. When you really start to get into where you've got to nail down your rotations and make it tight, it's just hard for me to see that he's going to play
I mean, here's the
11.
thing: in tighter game situations, he's obviously not gonna do that because even the second unit plays less in those type of situations. You know what I mean? The whoever the main second five is plays less when it's a tight game, tight situation. For the most part,
Mm-hmm.
he's riding with his starters, or he's riding with his closing unit, or whatever modified unit of a hot hand plus the majority starters or whatever. You know what I mean? But I see there's room for both of them. Can he take Fournier's spot? I think it's possible, but he's going in the second unit. You saying, or in this, as far as reverting back to as a starter, like like
I
like he
mean,
did when he first.
you know, I just don't. To me, it's not going to make sense. I don't
Fournier's
know.
he's too solid of a player. I think it's gonna be hard,
Yeah.
especially if he expands where he's shown he's able to do in that second unit. You
Mhm.
you, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
See,
because we haven't seen that from Grimes on a consistent
yeah. See, to
basis yet.
me, as far people, talking about Grimes being in the starting unit, this and that. To me, Grimes hasn't shown me enough to say that he's definitely the starter, and Cam is just holding that seat warm. You know what I mean? I mean, what has Grimes done in this league? Nothing at all. And you can argue that Cam hasn't done anything, but he's done more than Grimes. Now, obviously, he's been in the league longer, but to me,
Yeah, he's had
Grimes,
more opportunity and everything.
more opportunity, but Grimes hasn't done anything yet. And so I can't see that you're just going to be like, yo, he's definitely the starter. I could see if last year when he did play, he was giving you 18 a game. Obviously, he wasn't. You know what I mean? So I just can't see that he's definitely the starter. I think right now Cam has the opportunity to take that spot and keep that spot in that starting lineup. As long as he can defend, I think he's going to have the opportunity and to keep that spot. You know what I mean? His opportunity is now, obviously, to keep that spot. Eventually, I hope that he gets into the flow of the offense, you know what I'm saying, and becomes a threat offensively. He's a threat offensively, but, you know, he's learning to play a little bit more off the ball. Yeah, be consistent, right? And when he's out there, it doesn't feel like they make, when Fournier's on the floor, when Fournier's playing with that starting unit, it feels like they make a little bit more of an effort for him to have the ball in his hands to do something. Maybe it's because they played with him more last season in that lineup. It doesn't feel like it's that way with Cam. It's kind of like Cam is just, if it comes to him, he gets the shot. You know what I'm saying? But there's not a real effort to mix him into the flow of that offense, at least not right now. What do you think they need to do to get him into the flow and rhythm of what they're doing in that starting unit?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think right now his focus needs to be on defense. His focus needs to be on, if you're open, shoot it. Like the rest of the team, like, you know what I mean? Like Randall said in his little post game, the message from Tibbs, you know what I mean? You got the green light. I think that goes for everybody. That wasn't like Randall specific or, you know what I mean? So the fact that you know that, it's really about not taking bad shots and then impacting the game. I think we've seen not a conscious effort to find Cam, but I think we've seen everybody at different moments, you know, not today's game, but throughout the season, everybody find him on good spots, whether it's a cut, whether it's a open look off a double, whether it's a, you know what I mean, just find him within the flow of the offense. So I think he has to understand he's not gonna get 15 shots a game every game. Right. But there might be a night he does. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be different every night. What has to be the same is your defensive effort and you shooting when you open.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Right. And knocking him down when he's open. He shot a 340% clip tonight. Knock him down when you're open, you know, when you get that chance. And to be fair, if Grimes was in that unit, I don't think he'd be getting any more shots than Cam. Because he hasn't played with that unit either.
And they told him the same thing. You know what I mean? You have the green light. If you shoot it, you're open. And that's how he succeeded. By playing, by being the defender that he is naturally, and shooting the open shot. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, you know, I believe that they have the green light. It's just right now, you know, they're looking for Jalen. Well, Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hands. So he's going to have his opportunities to get his buckets. They look for RJ. You know, they're looking for Randle. You know what I mean? You know, like those, obviously those are your primary guys out there on the floor. So they're going to look for them. I would like to see the team make a little bit more effort to, okay, you know what? We're going to run a little handoff for Cam and let Cam come off the screen. You know, and maybe it just takes time for that chemistry to grow.
It'll come.
You know?
It'll come. It'll come. I just think right now they don't have to. It feels like he's accepting. Like, it feels like he's saying, "I'd rather be a starter and maybe not get 10 shots a game, then be where I came from when I got here. Situational, not know when I'm playing. You know what I mean?
No
Like
doubt.
whatever I gotta do to fit in and be a part of this
No
team.
doubt.
So you don't gotta rush it. I think it'll all come.
Yeah.
I think we're just settling in so far, 2 games in a row where our big three are playing well. Let that become consistent first, and then you know what I mean. And now we
Right.
can spread out the rows and the the flowers and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at some numbers behind the game, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks had 43 rebounds tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves had 39, 26 assists for the Knicks to 28 for the Timberwolves. The Knicks with 13 steals, 7 for the Timberwolves, 2 blocks for the Knicks, 8 for the Timberwolves, 16 turnovers for the Knicks, 17 for the Timberwolves. The Knicks have been turning the ball over a lot the past few games. Do you think it's because they're playing faster? That's why they're turning the ball over. Last season, what they averaged 12 turnovers a game or something like that. They're up to about 15 turnovers per game. The Knicks are. Is this to be expected if you're playing faster? Because they're definitely playing faster than they played last season. More, and that means you have more possessions. More possessions, naturally, you're going to have more turnovers. Now, a few games earlier in the season, they had the same amount of possessions, et cetera, still playing at the pace that they're playing, and they had less turnovers. What is it? Why are they turning the ball over more, do you think?
Well, to me, the scary part about it is it seems like, and tonight included, there's these stretches in the past couple games, maybe the last 3 games or so, where we go on a turnover stretch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2, 3, 4 turnovers in 5 possessions. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's really killing us overall for the total. You know what I mean? Because you take away those stretches, I think we're right back at where we were early in the season,
Right.
and you know what I mean. So, and then obviously in the loss, it hurts us more than than in the win, and I think we lost 2 of those games.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I think we're just figuring it out
true.
more so. I don't think it's something to worry about just yet.
I hope not. Because some of the turnovers this season have been bad turnovers, and I agree. They do go on stretches where there's 3, 4, 5 turnovers in a row. And that's tough because if a team is converting on those turnovers, that's a 6 to 10 point run right there.
I mean, you think about that. You think about even Brunson's uncharacteristic ones as of late. So that's adding like 1 per game right there. When I mean maybe a half per game if you want to be mathematically correct. But I think it's just adding up slowly. You know what I mean? I don't think it's alarming yet. Randall had 5 the other night, I think.
Yeah, 5 tonight too.
You know what I mean? So
5 for Randall tonight, 3 for Brunson tonight.
So I mean, look at that. You take 2 of those away from Brunson, because that's uncharacteristic. Maybe take 1 away from Randall because he's been better this year. You know what I mean? So
well, I guess we'll see when they get, hopefully when this offense is really clicking, they're really clicking together. If they're still turning the ball over at such a high clip, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of uncharacteristic for this Tom Thibodeau's team, but they were also playing at a snail's pace last year. You know what I mean? The slower you play, the more you pound the ball, the less turnovers you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The faster you play, the more you're up and down the floor, you'll probably have a few more turnovers. And you know what? If it means that they're going to score 118 to 120 points per game, I'll take a few more turnovers.
And shout out to Queen who was pointing out RJ Barrett the other night, where at least one of those turnovers was him trying to make a play as opposed to his tunnel vision. But I will say, if I'm a nitpick, if you will, and kind of pick some negative stuff out, I think he had a little bit of tunnel vision tonight. I don't know. I never really noticed it as much as a lot of people spoke about it
Mm-hmm.
until like this year, kind of. Like I thought it was RJ just kind of being him, but now I'm noticing both. I'm noticing when he doesn't have tunnel vision, and I'm noticing like when he does, and then I'm reflecting back into the past, like, yeah, that's kind of who he's been.
Right. I mean, he
But
did have 5
he's got to
assists
work
tonight.
on it. I mean,
Yeah.
he
He,
could, hey, he could have had 7.
right.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, he's
Yeah.
getting better at it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just now I notice it more than I ever did before, even though the playmaking is improving. As a team, man, we got to be up there in assists, right?
Well,
And if
I
not for
think
the
we're averaging about 26 assists per game. I think we're about
that's
there.
if that's not high in the NBA, that's definitely high for us as an
Yeah.
organization. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
came from last year averaging 20 to 21 assists per game.
so
So, it's definitely an improvement for the Knicks, and they're getting this on a nightly basis, even when they're not shooting the ball well.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they really didn't shoot the ball well tonight, percentage wise. They shot well from 3, but they shot 43.8%. That's okay. It's not great. Shot 39.6% from 3. They shot 92% from the free throw line tonight, and they took 25 free throws. They were 23 for 25 from the free throw line. On the Minnesota Timberwolves, they shot 47%. They shot 27% from the three-point line, and they shot 83.3% from the free throw line. Points in the paint, Minnesota had 48, the Knicks 38, but of course the Knicks were knocking down threes. 19 second chance points for the Knicks, 9 for the Timberwolves. The Knicks had 17 fast break points, and the Timberwolves had 19. These are good numbers for the Knicks. I would like to see the Knicks, if they can, get that field goal percentage up to 46 while still shooting at a 39% clip. Now you're talking about them scoring 126 points or something like that. You know what I mean? Are they going to average that per game? I don't know. I don't think so. But they're averaging 114.4 points per game, and they haven't really shot particularly well this season.
Mm-hmm.
They're averaging 114.4 points per game. Coming into this game, tonight's going to take it up a tick, 115, 116 or something like that. That's not bad when the team isn't really shooting well, to average 115 points a game and they're not shooting well. Imagine if they ever really start shooting at a high clip. I think maybe they came into this game averaging 46% from the field, but, not really great from the three-point line. If they get that three-point line up,
Mm-hmm.
percentage up, knock down their free throws,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can score the ball a little bit. What did you think about their perimeter defense tonight? Because that was a theme coming into the game. The perimeter defense, I know I was harping on it. You know what I mean? I thought in the beginning maybe they gave up a couple of threes, but they started to lock it down.
Yep. First quarter they did, and I think it stopped after that. It's tough to even know, to be honest, if it was an adjustment or the Knicks defense as far as the perimeter, or if it was just Minnesota not hitting or not making them, to be honest. But I can say their overall defense tonight was probably the best of the season. Their on-ball defense was good tonight. Like their team defense and helping and getting back. And so I mean, I guess that's probably a huge part of the perimeter, because a lot of times this year they've been over helping and not getting back. So yeah, their perimeter defense was good, but their overall defense tonight was probably the best I've seen to, as a collective. I mean, they looked like they was on a string. That second unit at one point was looking real good defensively.
Yeah. I I mean, there were a couple of lapses. There were a couple of times when I felt like the team kind of fell asleep. Maybe not fell asleep, but kind of relaxed and let off the gas. But then they would pick it back up. Because
3/4, for the most part, 3/4, the defense was
there were there were a couple of maybe some point in the
early in the
third.
first. They gave up some threes.
But like overall, a couple of times, a couple of people got a couple of things at the basket. That's going to happen during the games. No doubt about it. So I think there were a couple of times when maybe they lapsed, but then they got right back to doing what they needed to do on the defensive side. I think they played much better. They're not going to stop teams from taking threes. Can you contest it and stop them from making threes? That's the thing. 11 for 41 from the three-point line tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 27% for the Timberwolves tonight.
Think about that too. They still took 41. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to what we took against Boston.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So that just goes to say where the league is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a again, credit to Tibbs for another adjustment. Like another adding another staple to what he does, because this is not his MO.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's recognizing it and adjusting.
Yeah. Tonight for the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns had 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Anthony Edwards had 16 points and 9 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell, 14 points and 8 assists. Naz Reid had 11 points. Kyle Anderson had 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Slow-mo. I like that shit. like you be like, yo, how the... Cause you be reacting and you done finished reacting before he even did his move.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like...
slow. But he gets it off.
Effective.
He was on a fast break in the fourth quarter, getting up the court, slow as ever. A step between Julius Randle and someone else. I'm like, how do you get that off?
Julius jumped to block it. He was still doing a Euro step. Like I was like, yo.
Maybe that's what it is, though, right? Maybe that's what it is. You're expecting a certain speed, but that joint going so slow, you're like, oh, wait a minute, he's still stepping? Yeah, he be going. It's crazy. Man. Super slow, man. He be going super slow.
That's one of the perfect nicknames of all time. Like,
it's crazy.
Slow-mo.
Yeah. Good win for the Knicks tonight, though, ladies and gentlemen. Now, can they package this up for the Brooklyn Nets against Wednesday? They play the Nets Wednesday at 7 p.m. Can they package some of the things that they did tonight to take on the Nets? Obviously, the Nets got a guy in Kevin Durant that can go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the standings, the Knicks are now 5-5. And they are, I believe, 8th in the Eastern Conference at 5-5. Right? The Indiana Pacers are 5-5, and they're 7. So, they're a notch above the New York Knicks. You have the Bucks are 9-1, the Cavaliers are 8-1. The Atlanta Hawks are 7-3, the Celtics are 6-3. I think this is a little bit old. I need to refresh this. Because I think I have some different I think they have some different records now. But the Knicks are 8th in the Eastern Conference, which is a play-in.
Right? One to get in, though.
Yep, 8th. The Knicks are 8th. The Bucks 9-1. The Cavaliers 8-1. The Celtics 7-3. The Hawks are 7-3. The Raptors are 6-5. The Bulls are 6-6. The Pacers are 5-5. The Knicks are 5-5. The Wizards 5-6, and the Philadelphia 76ers are 5-6. The Brooklyn Nets, who the Knicks play next, are 4-7. And of course, we know the Nets are in a world of mess right now with everything that's going on. You know what I mean? So who knows what that game will be like. The Nets have lost. The Nets, they lost their last game.
tonight. The
They
Mavs.
lost tonight to the Mavs. The Knicks, well, obviously we know they just won this game. We're waiting for them to put on a nice little streak. But I'll say this. When you look at the Knicks' schedule, they kind of made it through an early tough portion of their schedule, right? I mean, they still have to play the Nets. Once they play the Nets, then they play the Pistons. Then they play the Thunder. You know, you kind of thought the Jazz were going to be a light team to play against. Well, they're 8-3 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're not as light as people think. And that 8-3's got them
But who
number
has
one.
who
They're
has
9-3, as a matter of fact, number one in the Western Conference right now.
who has more to prove in that particular game? Who should have more animosity for who in in that particular game? You know what I mean?
Yep.
RJ could feel some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like nobody on their team should feel no kind of way. They did what they
Right.
had to do.
Right.
They came from other teams and they did and they
I mean,
performed it.
I'm not gonna front. I hate the fact that they're 8-9-3.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? I do because I feel like it makes Danny Ainge right.
But that's
You know what I mean?
that's fine because like I like the fact that it was a win for them so far and it was a win for the Cavs so far. Who's to say if we pulled off whatever trade that it could be, we both could be losing right now, us and them, and then what?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get it. I'm
And then
just
in that
petty.
aspect, they win.
Yeah, I'm just petty. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Because you know they held out. Danny Ainge did what he did, but obviously it worked out for them. So I'm just a little petty, and I'm like, damn, I wish I wanted them to be bad.
Now I want them to be good because I don't want them to end up with the best pick. To be honest, like that would make me more upset if they, you know what I mean, end up
but
getting Victor and then really solidifying
right.
their team.
But I feel like they got the draft picks. If their team, they feel like this team is competitive, they got the draft picks.
True.
You know, some good draft picks to make a move to do something.
Yeah, from all over the place.
Yeah.
Too.
You know what I mean? And they got Ant from the Rudy Gay trade. I mean, the
Rudy
Rudy Gobert trade.
That's what I mean. They got 5 there, 3 there.
Right. Man, I need them to falter. They're 9-3 on the season, man. So that's going to be, a game that we didn't expect to be tough. That's going to be a tough game. We didn't expect that. Then they play the Nuggets. But, through an early season tough schedule, they kind of made it through a portion of it. They still got another portion to go, right? The Nets, the Pistons, the Thunder. The Thunder could be a tough game. SGA is dropping 30 a game.
The good thing is that they made it through a rough patch and they're starting, seemingly to hit their stride. At least, you know what I mean? At least the big our big three.
The big three, right? But after the Thunder, they go into another rough patch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now I guess we can add Utah there. Utah, Denver, Golden State, Phoenix, Oklahoma, Portland is
Hot right now.
third in the Western Conference. The Memphis Grizzlies, so that's another tough stretch right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tough games in a row. That's another tough stretch. Then they play the Pistons. Then they play Milwaukee, Dallas, Cleveland, Hawks, Charlotte. All right, so, we'll see if they can keep, treading at that 500 level.
We got to look at that 500
level.
Every game is tough. That's the way we got to look at it. You know what I mean? No games off. No teams lightly. No light stretches. You know what I mean? We got to build this culture here to where we don't care who we playing. We trying to, you know what I mean? We taking everybody like they world champions. They threats.
Yeah, I hear you. We'll see if they can continue put together wins. Next is the Brooklyn Nets. They take it one game at a time. One game at a time, man. Obviously, Kevin Durant is doing his thing over there. Kyrie will not be playing. Ben Simmons, who knows what Ben Simmons is doing or what it's about with Ben Simmons right now. You know what I mean? So, really, besides that, who else they got? Who else do they have over there? I haven't really paid attention to them. Ben Simmons. TJ Warren. I don't even know what TJ Warren is doing for real. I don't even know if he's back, to be honest with you. I haven't really paid attention to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I know
Seth Curry. Without Kyrie playing, this should be a game that, it's possible. Ben Simmons is averaging 5 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. This man is making $30 million a year. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. Ben Simmons was. I hope that Ben Simmons finds himself back in the league and can get back to at least to what he once was. You know what I'm saying? It's tough because he was, the talent is undeniable, but yeah, this is a rough stretch for him in his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think what I was gonna say is more of a front stoop topic, but
yeah. But it's a tough time for Ben Simmons in his career, man. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to say, But that's the next game for the Knicks. That's on Wednesday, 7 p.m. It's a little bit of an early start, ladies and gentlemen. I have practice from 5 to 7, so I'll probably, catch it at 7:30 or something like that.
Is it 7? I thought they said tip off was 7:30.
Okay, maybe tip off is 7:30.
The coverage is at 7.
Okay, that could be. All right. Well, Tony, anything else, man? You got?
Nah, man. I'm just, I'm asleep good. The Knicks won.
I feel
stop the bleeding and look good doing it.
Yeah.
Let's build some chemistry, build off this, and let's make it a streak.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I'm a, maybe tomorrow I'll do another, my 5 takeaways from the game. Somebody hit me up and said, "Hey, I like when you do that." So I might try to do it, and I'll probably tomorrow. My schedule is getting so jumbled. I haven't been able to do the shoot around, the day after shoot around like I want to. In about 2 weeks it'll settle in. My daughter plays a game tomorrow, so I'm driving to go see her play. You know what I mean? But before I do that, I might try to drop another, one of my 5 takeaways from the game.
I actually like that as well. Yeah, I started doing first thoughts when after the first quarter, just kind of breaking down what I've seen.
Yeah,
real quick. So anybody hasn't seen those, check that out. Check out Knicks and Bruises. I don't know. I might start that thing we was talking about on Wednesdays, and I'm gonna go back and watch some old, the first couple games, and might have some new content on Wednesdays for you guys as well.
That's what's up. And I am going to. My daughter plays at 5. The game will be over by 7. I'm gonna plan to do a front stoop tomorrow night. Although where I'm going is 2.5 hours away, so it'll be like 11 o'clock or something like that. So I'm planning to do a front stoop, man.
That should be perfect for me, man. I should definitely be home by then.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you follow the front stoop, look forward to it. Tomorrow night, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? And just a lot of stuff to talk about. So
I had to throw that up there.
What'd you say? Oh, yeah,
I
no
had to throw
doubt.
that.
That's Friday, man. Yo, it's not a snippet,
Yeah, I know. I've been
not a
talking about
track
Frank.
list, not a
We-
nothing.
We'll get it. We'll get it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll get a track list on Wednesday. We'll get a song on Thursday.
Or maybe they just wait until Friday and just let us get it like that.
I mean,
That'd be dope too.
that would be
I
dope.
really hope Wu was on it. I do.
We talked about
I mean,
that.
they was just on tour together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The New York State of Mind tour. I really hope Wu is on it. I'd like to get that verbal intercourse too. That'd be dope. Nas, Ray, and Ghost, verbal intercourse part 2. That'd be crazy.
Through the lights, cameras, action, glam, good as a go.
I was bumping that joint last night, all night.
Oh
real.
man, you about to make me bump that to go to bed.
You know what I'm saying? I know we're a little bit off track here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, but yeah, tomorrow night, we're gonna do a front stoop tomorrow night, about 11:30, somewhere around there.
Shit. We're probably gonna do one Friday night too.
Probably gonna do one Friday night too. You know what I'm saying? And when Nas dropped that album, we're probably gonna do a live first listen review on that joint. I'm expecting it to be the best trilogy in hip hop. I don't want to say I'm expecting. I'm hoping that when he drops KD3, it's gonna be the best. That's gonna be the best trilogy in hip hop. That's where I'm at with it.
Savvy D says Suicide Bounce 2 with Busta Rhymes. Okay.
Okay. All right. I really did like Suicide Bounce. I thought Suicide
That's
Bounce should have
actually
been
an
a single.
underrated. Man, you know what? Now I'm about to go back to that album.
I thought that joint should have been a single. I thought he missed the mark on that a little bit. At the point in time, I thought that could have been a good single. Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
we just turned it to the stoop.
we just turned it to the stoop. You know what I'm saying? Join us tomorrow night on the front stoop. We can talk about all of it. You know, we got a lot to talk about. We out of here, man. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.